A blessed evening, everyone. More love, more peace. As he said, my name is UKWEZI. I love performing on. Now, I'll first tell you a disclaimer. I don't market my poetry. I don't advertise it. And the reason for that is because I think that my poetry is supposed to reach the intended ears through the Spirit. So if you're here, it's because there's a message for you. Okay? And so I'm happy to perform for one person, I'm happy to perform for 100, and I'm happy to perform for 1,000 as well. I've performed for like big crowds, and then there will be like 2 people that come and talk to me and say that they've been touched. And so that's why for me, I don't market it. So if I haven't marketed anything to you, don't think that it's anything personal. The name is UKWEZI. Okay, I welcome you, fellow humans, humaning. I call myself a humaning as a poetess. Poetry called me, but what puts bread and butter on my table is statistics, so I'm a statistician. Yeah, I know. Doesn't match. Thank you for coming, Hannah. And everyone else, thank you for sharing your energy with us, and thank you also to all the other poets that have performed so far. As a humaning, living in an industry that is very male-dominated, I have let myself to be defined by another. And when I was being defined by another, I swallowed that identity so much to the point where I actually invoked my own identity using what they thought that I'm supposed to be. And this is how Shortcuts was birthed. I like shortcuts. I like shortcuts and I don't like to think things through. I foolishly underestimate myself as I always look for reasons outside of the self, like I fell. No, there was a rock. I say I will not speak. No, the throat is unlocked from past demons who mock the block I walk or the talk I walk. It is ironic how I mimic all that is lyrical to recall the first call. Fox so cold, young so old, with time insisting to hold on to trashed cans, rushed bands, and all that is hogwash. I like shortcuts and they call me a woman human. I like shortcuts and they call me a woe unto man. You, man. And that is a false identity. False identity created through what I thought others felt I was supposed to be in order for them to be comfortable. But after a few years, when I realized I don't have to walk through life begging to be alive, then I took up the me that I had put into the pit, and I decided that she should rise out of that pit. And then I gave her her old identity, and so she rose. From a land measured in 6 feet, she rose. From a land of non-continuation, of breath negation, it's a town of non-existence that went beyond Lucifer's throne. She rose. She dusted off figments of created and washed off particles of named. She ascended unto her Nzinga for Eve, unto her Miriam like, Welela, we mama. Welela, we mama. Wela, 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 we mama. Unto her Mama Busim Shongo for every misguiding artistry she had slept on. She took on fella and sorrily married Jabu Ganyile knowingly. The applause she received so humbly, they conversed and then crowned this lotus lily, and so she rose. She rose and answered her call. She rose. Little had been said of her small more confused, I call hole-induced and love-deprived self-hatred. In a mind that stung of blindness, she stayed on, climbing from a land measured in 6 feet. She rose and answered her call. She rose to a land so dark you're survived by your light. And light she had, light she actuated, with light she was guided, with light she guides, overstanding and understanding that goddess like hers our dreams manifest. She rose and answered her call. She rose. Royalty she be, undefeated she be. She rose. You see, sometimes, yes, you can clap if you want, but, it's going to be a conversation, and I forgot to tell you to move closer because, I like to conversate, and it's supposed to be intimate. Like I said, it has to fall on the right ears. It's not about the crowd, it's about the quality. Okay? So, obviously, if you are weak enough to allow yourself to be defined by another, when deep inside you have that self-identity that can make you stronger, it means that someone distorted that identity at some point. And so I met up with some healers, because I needed to know what happened. Why did I have to be defined by another when I knew that I could be that strong? And you heard me speak of Mama Busim Shongo. All her words came to me in Zulu, but they spoke truth to my Rwandan heart. I like what she says when she says, Ugangangengane go to Shalaganjani. Ugangangengane go to Shalaganjani. Go to So Selimve. Kanto Shalaganjani. It means you are playing with that child when you abuse that child. You are defining that child's identity when you're abusing that child. You are forming who they become when you're abusing that child. And she spoke to me some more when she said that I need to be calling home. When, although this one was more from Fazom Nyama, I think was the first person who coined those words, but Mama Busim Shongo is the one who actually brought them into popularity. Let me see if I can remember them. She says, Evatenjini vanemfuna, oh minangia konza kuzagalingani na. We malume, we mtotozo, we malume, we, and I would put my own malume's name, Mazimhaka. Malume basically means marume. Same words, huh? So funny how we're all the same. I need a sip of my wine. That's Zulu. The country is the same everywhere, right? Marume, malume. Yeah. So, what she's saying there is that as a lost child, if you feel lost, call back home. So what she's singing in there is, you people from my mother's home, I'm calling for you, but it's like you don't hear me. As in, you're not hearing me, you're not listening. I'm knocking, but no one is answering. But the advice is keep knocking, child, keep knocking. And the more I knocked, the more I went back to my childhood playground. My childhood playground was actually up here in Kimihurura, back before the 90s. Am I giving away my age? Anyway. So yeah, that made me go back to my playground so that I can get to know when that identity actually got distorted, okay? And so I came up with child's play. Hold your hearts very close to yourselves. Child's play. At 45 and close to 50, married with her children, he's never had a comb as good as what he's always seeing. He's up at night to taste the tightest that he's ever known. A total copycat created through the womb he homes. He's tried before. Tonight for sure, he'll get her to her knees as mother is. He'll tie the daughter, strap her to her fears, cut out her soul, break off her being, or rest in peace, innocence. He'll watch her wither down to drop so shamefully manescence. She's only 10, has seen a lot, a heart so heavy weeping. No daddy's shoulders, only mother's heart always regretting. No love for her, cause none was left since the day that he died. And left his wife a photo upon the daughter's face to remind, oh mom, these girls are just as boys, dispose of them to your peril. They'll hold your heart on days so dark when curtains draw and reveal. The coward ran, he gave you AIDS and then fed you to the dogs. And so, weep and moan. He thrives as pastor to the highest calling, and so weep and moan. He's on a pedestal and all believe him saint and sane. All believe him saint and sane. Little girl, rise and shine, it's another day in which you ought to know your worth and learn just how to work your blessings and learn to walk in light and never leave a stone unturned, holding your power in your pocketbook, a heart unshook. Past life in past tense is torn out and forgotten. Bad deeds and dark demons hurt, devils forgiven. You're thriving. You're thriving in a beautiful, beautiful light. Walk by me. It's gonna be another winner. It's gonna be another winner today, day. It's gonna be another winner. It's gonna be another winner today. So that one then is talking about child molestation. And that's gonna be the theme for tonight, by the way. So if at the end you can write down what your feelings are, what the other poets spoke about, whatever it is that you felt, it moved inside of you, it would be really great, especially for Silver's stage. It talks about childhood molestation. The first stanza basically speaks about, he's 45 and then he gets married to her while she has her children. He's got an addiction to porn and he never gets a cum, is what he's always seeing. So he's got to go and taste it on the tightest one that he's ever known. That's been birthed by the womb he calls home. So twisted, right? Anyway, and then the second stanza then speaks about the fact that she's 10 years old. And yes, she has seen a lot already, okay? And then the last stanza then speak about how the rest of the village is expecting her to walk around with a smile placed on her face until she also believes that there's gonna be another winner, which is actually kind of a twisted good thing for her because it teaches her how to be a warrior, okay? Like I said, it's a conversation. Let's conversate. So once you see all the healers and you know that you're supposed to call a spade, call a thing, because that's the only way that you can be able to face it and say, I'm not scared of you. You're some demon that was dropped on me. You're some Injirgwa Mujie that you've got your own journey, as you said, my brother. I have my own. So I can't be distracted by your whatever stuff that you were going through that made you do what you did. I forgive and bye-bye. I'm not going to forget because it was a good lesson. You know, you told me that people shouldn't use me. So I'm going to use that, but not in a bitter way. I'm going to walk away with it smiling because it's going to be another winner. Damn it. And when you call a spade, you call a thing, you learn how to celebrate even the darkest things that people would actually shy away from. The things that we don't speak about, but poets are bold enough to speak about. Write about me. What did you say? I'm dying. Write about me, I'm dying. Do you know how humbling that is? Knowing that death is part of life. And sitting with it and just being peaceful with it. The ego dies right there. You love everyone because you're like, well, I'm not making it out of this alive. And you're polite to everybody because you don't know if you're going to see them tomorrow again. It's good to embrace the things that are facts in this life of ours. And so I embraced what I call my mother's demise. This one you're going to help me with, okay? When I do that, you clap with me. When I do that, you're done clapping, okay? And this is how it goes. I hope I remember it. Decadence of death. Decadence of death. Decadence of death. Be not proud. It was the eve of her death. The eve of her body wasteth, created dawn of her, she breathes no more, elevation of her libe no more. A soul and spirit so white bleached, ancestral calling prohibited, the bishop preached, and so her posterity reaches her never, self-loathing as her as ever. 'Twas a cadence of death, a cadence of death. A cadence of death, be not proud. Self-loathing, yes, trained and sevenated. Trained and sevenated is imperfected. These her daughters, having lived in paintings of arms, pungered, raised upon mother dear. She surrendered to self-hatred. She ran to hate love, thirsty, not knowing to grow it for her own. And now her children in shambles they mourn, for though warned, they knew not of the eve of her death. They knew not of the eve of her to AIDS. Her body wasteth to the cadence of death. A cadence of death. A cadence of death. Be not proud. Okay. Just so that we can get back to love and we can get away from the heavy stuff. I told you, Silva, my poems are heavy, brah. Like, that's why I never go over 4, because it's just, hey, after this, some people need therapy. I've been needing therapy all my life. But poetry is my therapy, basically, because when you speak about these things, I know that there are so many little girls walking around. There's a girl in the village who has been impregnated by her uncle. And people have told her not to speak because otherwise the village is going to call her the village whore. And that's why my words have to leave, because she has to know that she can speak. She has to know that even after speaking and people shun her, she can still be another winner. Today, day. Doesn't have to be just tomorrow. So anyway, after I've called a spade, a thing, and I've tried to heal myself, now I can allow another to touch me. Not in the way that other guy touched me, but, you know, in the way that I actually want. Because I'm still human and I have this flesh and it just feels good sometimes, you know. It does. So I'm going to read this one to you because when it gets to love poetry, then I'm still passionate when it's the right person. But yeah, so he touches me. He touches me. He touches the deep crevices of my cold heart. A slow, thoughtful hand that wipes off any tear I ever cried or feigned to as he thaws. I relieve past lives of emotions that sway waves of oceanic words untold or unheard of. He touches me. He makes rise unto me a deep honor to manhood that softens my femininity. Like, I'll open doors for you. When you cry, I will shoulder you. When you speak, I will complete you. And when you bear a child, I will raise with you. Before I dare think that when you open softly will I enter you, I'll be thoughtful. He touches me. He touches me like, have you heard about how we fell in love back in BC? We clayed pyramids together and banished the fear of death, for in all the little demises, we rose higher to grounds of oak tales, sang by nymphatic angels, birthing the Kama Sutra. He touches me. I hope that heals you. The name is UKWEZI. I know some of you probably sweated from that one. But yeah.